I no longer want to see the patterns. I have learned too many patterns. I hate that I see the patterns because whenever I talk about the patterns, people think I'm a pretentious asshole, but the patterns are there. The patterns are always there. I'm not being judgmental. Actually, I am, because I judge the situation, because judging is actually a normal human function that we use to survive. And after analyzing the situation and how this person acted, how they handled this situation, how they talked to this person, I understand that I do not want to interact with this person because the patterns. No, I'm not always right. No, I don't always know what I'm talking about, but I've been in multiple situations where I was proven right and I fell flat on my face because I allowed someone to talk me out of it. The people who do not see the patterns, the people who have never walked on thin ice, the people who do not need to read people to survive, do not believe you. They just think you're judgmental. They think you're being unfair. They slam you with this ideology that nobody's perfect, and you know that nobody's perfect because you're not fucking perfect. You're judgmental as hell and you don't like it. You wish you could just relax and let people be people, but you see it. When you call someone dumb, it's actually because they say or do dumb shit. But when you read patterns, it's like you have a different criteria of what you qualify as a good person, because everyone else qualifies someone who makes them laugh, someone makes them happy, someone that they have positive moments with. But you, oh no, you go into details. You go into their personality, you go into their beliefs, their principles, their politics. Because you understand if someone's going to be racist, more likely they're going to be misogynist. You understand if someone's misogynist, chances are they're going to be homophobic too. Your body goes into a state of panic whenever someone tries to tell you that you're wrong, because part of you knows that you're right and the other part is just tired of someone denying you. Because as soon as they find out they are right, guess what? No one likes a know-it-all. Because one thing that the people who are always right understand, that being right fucking sucks, because more than likely no one around you is going to listen to you and you're going to be talking to yourself, being right. People who see the patterns know that most people aren't going to listen to the average person. They're going to listen to someone with money or status. People who see the patterns understand how indoctrination affects every single aspect of someone's perspective and how it's almost impossible to communicate with anyone else around them. Because indoctrination is brainwashing, and if you start poking it with a stick, people are going to start getting aggressive, which is why a lot of homophobic or racist or misogynistic people are willing to get violent so easily, because their world order is either collapsing or has already been collapsed. The people who see patterns actually do not like people. They don't want to hate people. Like, they actually on the daily fight against it, because they understand why people do the things that they do and why they behave the way that they do. And in fact, they used to behave the same way, but they found their way out of it. But the thing is, not everyone has that skill set, and they know this, which is why we have therapists, but they also know that not every therapist is perfect. They know a lot of talk therapy as human error, but they also know there's different types of therapy, but they're not as highly as regarded or advertised, which is awful because they're more effective than talk therapy, and talk therapy is the only one we ever talk about. And the people who see the patterns understand that this is intentional. The people who see the patterns theorize that once upon a time, someone very powerful got access to psychology very early on before the public, and nothing in any community in this country, down to our gender norms, our social norms, our stereotypes, our cliches against each other, goes unplanned. The people who see the patterns understand that my struggle is connected with yours, and we cannot end this fight without each other's help. That no matter how much I may or may not like you, that we are not going to get anywhere with divided numbers. But the people who see patterns also know that that's going to be nearly impossible, because indoctrinated people are nearly impossible to work with. Once you remind them of who their quote-unquote enemy is, the people who are different from them, it's over. I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, went to college in Wilmington, North Carolina, two sites of great racial massacres where all it took was people in charge to remind the palm-colored people that they don't like black people. And right now, the same thing is being done for every single community, no matter what aspect. And deadass, the only way out of it is through shadow work and spiritual growth, but a lot of people are afraid to look at that aspect of themselves because no one wants to admit that they're the bad guy, and we're all going to be the bad guy, because the people with patterns understand that once upon a time we were the bad guys in someone else's story. Because hurt people, like if it came down to it, we all would have got canceled for fucking something. Like, hopefully for nothing terrible, but a lot of us would have got canceled for something we once did, or something we once were. Like, if you watch The Boys, the series, we see how easy that was to turn against Starlight. But being canceled doesn't really exist, because all people really want is someone to acknowledge that they've done wrong and apologize, and people who see patterns see this. But the people who don't see patterns don't see this, so they give a half-ass apology that they don't really mean, because in actuality they can't see what they did wrong because their ego doesn't want to admit it to themselves. And this in itself is human. So, where are we going?